in the last session, he made us do, I think one of the participants of us, that the I don't know state, that is the state where it's like you are being neutral, non-judgmental, you are clearing your slate, kind of a state. So that was a very powerful exercise that he has done. What other way can we have this state where we have I don't know state very naturally?
So let's first understand what is it that I'm referring to as I don't know state, Arun. Okay, so and then you'll realize that it goes way beyond coaching, way beyond NLP. It goes into the deepest aspects of consciousness and has strong overlaps with spirituality. Okay, so look at this diagram, right? In the last class, I explained how do we go about learning language. The way we learn language is we see some object and someone says a word which is the name for that object, and we start linking them. Everything that we speak, all the words that we know, all the words that we hear and understand, anything that we speak is basically images already stored in our mind. So far so good? Everyone agrees with this, that that's the nature of language? Just give me a tick mark. Okay. So what happens when someone asks you, who are you? Okay, you say, I am Anil Dagia, I am a human being, I am this, I am that. But remember, all those descriptions, they are images that were stored in your mind. They were already stored in your mind. Those are the images that are already stored in your mind. They are frames of references to which you have attached some labels, and those labels are the words that you are using to describe yourself. But if you did not have language at all, if you didn't have language at all, a baby, when a baby is born, and you ask that baby, who are you? What happens to that baby? Baby doesn't understand anything, what you said. Baby just exists in consciousness, and the baby does not have any frames of reference. There are no images stored in the baby's mind. There are no notions, I am a boy, I am a girl. The baby doesn't know I am rich, I am poor. Baby does not know I am Hindu, Christian, Muslim. Baby doesn't know anything, because the baby's mind is a blank slate. So as adults, we develop this notion that we know so much about ourselves, but the fact is all we know is words. All we know about ourselves is only words. Beyond words, what do we know about ourselves? Nothing. When you remove this illusion of words, that's where our pure consciousness resides, beyond words. And what I was referring to as I don't know state is that state where you are in pure consciousness. And you've dropped all these frames of references that you had in your mind. In that state, you just are. There is no need to define who you are, you just are. In that state, your client just is. There's no need to judge what the client is going through. There is no need to judge whether the client is going through good or bad. There is no need to judge whether what the client wants is right or wrong. The client just is. Now, this journey to this I don't know state is really the journey about dropping all your frames of references, In other words, dropping your mind completely. Frames of references are just in the thinking process, in the mind. Mind is thinking process. Mind is not a physical object. It's a process. It's a process that we do inside somewhere. And the process that we do, it should really be called minding and not mind, because by using a noun to describe the mind, we are creating an illusion that it is something which exists. So the journey to the I don't know state is really about stopping all your thinking processes. And while we may not get there completely, but we move in that direction. And one of the ways to do this is you ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? And recognize that every answer you give is just a frame of reference. Every answer you give is just a word that comes from a frame of reference you created for yourself. But are you only that frame of reference? Are you only the entire collection of frame of references you have? No, you're way more than that. How do you go about describing that which you are, which cannot be summed up by the sum total of frames of references that you have?
So can you probably give us an example of if somebody asked you that, Anil, who are you? Then what would be the answer? I'm not just.
I immediately go into I don't know.
Okay.
Because okay. I am very clear that any description I give, that description is just a frame of reference that I have created for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, for practical purposes, when you are going to be in a business meeting and you have to introduce yourself, you have to introduce yourself with some words.
Yeah.
You can't go into a business meeting and say, I don't know who I am. And you'll say, okay, thank you, bye, get lost. Even we don't know who you are, we don't want to work with you. Okay. Fine, see, that's not business meeting aside, okay, really speaking, when you want to delve deeper into your own consciousness, who are you? Who am I? We use words and labels, but words and labels are just that, words and labels. It's an illusion we have created of knowing who we are. But beyond the knowing is just the being. And in that being, there is no need to know anything. It just is. Everything just is. And that's where that I don't know activity or I don't know state, which I call, it's about going into that state of being, just being. Where you just are, your client just is. In that state, everything is actually crystal clear. There is no need to know anything because everything is just there. It just is. And everything is centered only in this present moment. That's it.